Yo, what's up? My name is Petrowski MTG, and if you're a Magic the Gathering player who plans to play the game for a very long time, it's important to buy cardboard somewhat responsibly. Is that a bit of an oxymoron? Maybe a little bit. Let's jump into it. Today's video is about cards for Commander that are at their bottom out price, or at least the lowest price they've been at for a very long time. So it's one of the better times to pick up these cards right now, even if you have a deck for them or you want to build a deck for them in the future. Be a little careful with that. You don't want to plan too far ahead like I tend to do sometimes, but it's still a really good time to pick up all of these cards. Card number one on your screen, the classic, the beast, the natural order target, the Green Sun's Zenith order, Green Sun Zenith target if you've got enough mana. Crater Hoof Behemoth, the ending creature in green, to a point where it can be a little monotonous, so I understand some people don't play it for that reason. I get it, but Crater Hoof allows you to do things. It makes the stronger deck stronger, and it makes the decks that are a little dirtily, gives them a way to actually finish. Crater of Behemoth, obviously 8 mana, green creature, beast, haste. When this creature enters, creature you control get trample and plus X, where X is the number of creatures you control. Even if you're not spreading wide, you only have like 3 creatures when this enters. Usually that trample plus the +3/+3 to your entire team is just enough to win the whole game, and usually it's tutorable out via other effects like natural order, like Green Sun Zenith, and plenty of the other effects. So Crater of Behemoth at the cheapest price it's been for a very long time, usually a $20 or $30 card. It's gotten reprinted a ton recently in things like Innistrad Remastered, in Jumpstart products, in Commander products, and most recently in Tarkir Dragonstorm. It got a bunch of different special variations and different reprints. So right now is probably the best time to pick up Crater Hoof Behemoth. It's only like a $12, $13 card right now over on TCG Player, Card Kingdom, whatever you're buying at. Right now, best time to pick up Crater Hoof. Let's keep going. A lot of cards to get to. Let's just go for it. Eldyr, an Elves card, 3 mana. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Doesn't necessarily need to be an Elf card if you read it properly, right? You can pay a green and tap Eldyr to tap 2 untapped creatures you control. So you need like 3 creatures total like with him. Reveal a card from your hand or the top of your library. So you can straight up like show and tell just for yourself, plop a creature from your hand onto the battlefield, or from the top of your library you have extra. It doesn't have to just be the top of your library, which is massive. If you reveal a creature card this way, put it onto the battlefield. Activate this only during your turn, which is important. It does say only during your turn, not only as a sorcery, which is really important. So you can actually plop Crater Hoof onto the battlefield and give your team a in the middle of combat buff, if that makes sense. So really powerful green creature card. $5 right now. Now this card is a good example of a card that hasn't existed for the longest period of time. It's only been out since Modern Horizons 3. It's possible this card drops more, but if I were a betting man, which this is not financial advice, these are just my personal opinions, it wouldn't surprise me if this card is kind of just being overlooked right now, as people are excited for Final Fantasy, people are excited for Edge of Eternities. The current Magic philosophy is print, go, next product, and a lot of players forget about the old products that are just as powerful, just as good, and a heck of a lot cheaper. So Eldyr right now, pushing that $5 range, might go down a little bit, but it might also dip back up. Don't wait too long on this, in my personal opinion. $5 right now for a great green creature, card advantage, and game-ending threat. Next up, Kletus, or, Kletus. This is a classic card from Oath of the Gatewatch. It's really like it's a weird card to plop into Commander decks. I think that's the main thing. This is a card if you need a specific hate engine, but you also want to give yourself a bit of an engine. It does a lot of things at once. However, people don't always want to plop it into your deck until you really play with it and feel with it and realize how powerful it is. Right now, Kletus is a mythic from Oath of the Gatewatch, $4 to $5 right now. The cheapest it's been, I think, ever, which is really crazy. The cheapest it's been since its printing. Even then, yeah, the cheapest it's been in 9 years. 9 years for reference. But what is Kletus? A lot of people might not know. A 4-mana 3/4 life-linking vampire warrior, important creature types. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, even if you don't kill it, instead exile that card and put a 2/2 black zombie creature on the battlefield. This does 2 things. Number 1, disrupts any opponent's graveyard strategies when they're trying to do shenanigans like sacrificing creatures infinitely to get insane value. This stops combos with Ashnod's Altar. This stops a lot of things. It also builds up your board state by getting you 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, which you can use for your own aristocrat shenanigans. A lot of times cards like this will read, if ever a creature dies, exile it and do this thing. Kletus is only a non-token creature an opponent controls would die. So you are exiling your opponent's creatures if you board wipe, etc., etc. However, your graveyard's not being affected. Your creatures are not being affected. So very powerful one-sided effect from Kletus. Not something a lot of people once again consider putting in their decks, but a really good slot in that fuels two different engines, as well fuels one engine and hates on your opponents all at the same time. And you can just get so much passive value with a Kletus sitting on the battlefield. Next up, I know obviously white ramp has been a big focus for Magic the Gathering players over the past bit, and Archaeomancer's map is a great example of this. It's an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 plains cards, put them in your hand. Okay, so you pay 3 mana, get 2 plains, just play land tax. What are you doing, Petrowski? This sounds terrible. However, whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. This is kind of a weird budget burgeoning in white. It's a shittier burgeoning in white, it is. However, a lot of white's land ramp synergizes with this. All of their land ramp is like playing Lotus Fields, playing certain things to bounce lands, trying to make your opponent have more lands than you, or have you make sure you have less lands than your opponent rather, but still have the same amount of mana. So definitely check out. There's even a cheaper printing here for $2.87 in the new Final Fantasy set, because of course there is. But yeah, Archaeomancer, you can get it now for, yeah, I would honestly go for that printing if you're going for budget. You can get this for as cheap as $3 right now. Pick it up now while it's the cheapest it's been in 4 years. 2021. Yeah, this card is the cheapest it's been for at least 4 years. All right, moving on. Some zombie cards for all the zombie players out there. Necro Duality printed in Innistrad Remastered. I think originally, Crimson Vow, the cheapest this card has been in quite a while, but still a pretty new printing of a card. Let's go check the original printing in Crimson Vow, and let's see. 2021. Yes, this card is it's the cheapest it's ever been throughout the card's printing. It's originally been a $10 card on average for the past 4 years. $10 card on average for the past 4 years, keep in mind. Now it is a $5 to $6 card. Very powerful card. Mythic rare, by the way, which really factors into the amount of copies that are out there. 4 mana. Whenever a non-token zombie enters the battlefield under your control, create a token copy of that creature. This is a really powerful way to just keep churning out zombies and keep getting extra value, which zombies love to do. For $5 to $6, if you ever want to build a zombie deck with blue in it specifically, keep that in mind. I feel like it's a no-brainer. All right, next up, Vuva. Let's look at some lands, some cards that anybody can play, not just zombie players. Vuva is the cheapest it has been since 2012, man. It is now a $5 card. The cheapest this super powerful, amazing utility land has been in 13 years. It's craziness. Magic is really expensive. It's always been an expensive game. And it's really expensive right now if you're buying the new product. If you are buying good old cards, guys, I think it's almost never been a better time to get into some budget Magic stuff, dude, and have access to some really powerful, crazy stuff. Vuva comes into play tapped, but it comes into play. You choose a land in play, any land. Doesn't have to be yours. Obviously, you may know this. It's been around for a while. Your opponent's land, and it comes in as a copy. You could copy a super powerful land of your own. You could copy your Lotus Field. You could copy your opponent's Maze of Ith. You could copy Glacial Chasm. You could copy Mistrise Village. Wink, wink. We're going to cover that card in a little bit. You could copy Mirror Pool. You could copy so much insane stuff. If your opponent has Cabal Coffers in Urborg, you can copy their Cabal Coffers and get the same benefit, even if you're not a black deck. You can do some you can just do some craziness as long as you can produce a black tap to pay for the Cabal Coffers, to be fair. But yeah, just an insane card. A card that's also playable in other formats. I played Vuva in Legacy for a very long time. Very, very powerful card. Not really any other. There's 2 lands that do this. You have to think about whenever you're buying a Magic card and you're scared of power creep or things changing or it becoming, power crept. How many other cards do this thing is what you have to, or holding value. How many other cards do this thing? And Vuva, it's Vuva and Thespian Stage, right? Is there, if there's more, if I'm missing, let me know in the comments. But Vesuva, there's very, very few lands that copy lands like this. So check out Vesuva. Very, 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 very good land for $5 or $6. Could go in any commander deck right now. You could copy the bounce lands. You could copy a ton of stuff. Okay. Life from the Loam, dude. If you play any Eternal formats, you're probably familiar with this card. What an engine this card is. In Commander as well. Do not sleep on Life from the Loam in Commander. 1 in a green. Return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand and dredge 3. It's one of those cards that doesn't seem that good, I feel like, to new players and to casual players. But if you have Strip Mine, Wasteland in your graveyard, something, you know, something more heinous. Maybe you've got, you know, there's so many other crazy effects, other sacrifice lands, mirror pools that you can return every turn, because what you do is you get these super powerful lands, or Glacial Chasm, recurring. Glacial Chasm in this card is so hard to beat. Glacial Chasm, probably one of the most powerful cards in Magic. I've been singing the praises of Glacial Chasm for an extremely long time, but Life from the Loam is currently a $5 to $6 card, the cheapest it has been in an extremely long time. This printing, Ultimate Masters, back in 2018 or so. Yeah, one of the cheapest printings. There is one in Commander, Tarkir Dragons, one that is a bit cheaper. Pretty cool art as well, but obviously just a newer card. Yeah, $5 or $6 right now. The cheapest Life from the Loam has been in an extremely long time. I believe originally printed in Ravnica. This is the cheapest this card has been in since I want to say, yeah, 2016-ish. So pick up your Life from the Loams now if you're interested. Very powerful card, very powerful effect. That can also combo with cards like this if you're in Black-Green Zombies, which I don't know how many people are playing that, but if you're in that combo, more power to you. Unholy Grotto. Now, I'm not a Zombies player, nor am I in the Zombies online stratosphere, okay? So zombie players, you gotta set me straight in the comments. I've never heard of this card. I'm assuming a lot of Zombies players know about this, but people who want to build zombies or like zombie casual fans, perhaps, I've never heard of this card. Unholy Grotto. Add a colorless, so just a utility land, add a colorless, pay a black, and put target zombie card from your graveyard on top of your library. Recursion for your best threats, make them difficult to get rid of, which is already difficult in a zombie deck usually. This just feels really sick to me on an easy utility land. I feel like this should go in any zombie deck, unless you're like 3-color and really need the color distribution, but hopefully you have the space for this beautiful utility land in the perfect deck. Now, we can actually see, as the cheapest card's been a while, we can actually see the original printing is in Onslaught. And the newest printing is $1. The Onslaught printing is a lot more expensive, $10, you know, 10 times the price for the older, more beautiful border. So obviously it makes sense. But this card, even this card, this printing was way more expensive over a decade ago, 12 years ago, right? And it's only gotten more expensive. The fact that this card is available now, this card was at one point $20, $30, $40 and was $15 for the longest time. The fact that you can now get a copy for $1 can't be overstated. And it's because of the Commander Aether Drift set. Once again, we're on to Final Fantasy. We're on to Edge of Eternities. Everybody's forgetting about Aether Drift, forgetting about, you know, even Bloomburrow, right? Everybody's forgetting Tarkir Dragonstorm. Everybody's forgetting about these sets that these sets just happened. We're not done with them yet, really. But a lot of the average community has moved on. They're forgetting about them. So pick them up now while they're still cheap. All right. Next up, speaking of forgetting about powerful cards and moving on too quickly, Meat Hook Massacre, a very powerful board wipe, or at least semi-board wipe, sometimes one-sided board wipe effect. One of the more expensive cards on this list, but it's a board wipe effect with a Drain and Gain feature attached for Aristocrat decks and the like. Excuse me. I believe originally printed in Innistrad Midnight Hunt, if I'm not mistaken. This has been a $40 card in the past. Excuse me, this has been an $80 card in the past. This has been an $80, $50, $60 card, even a $55 card as recent as October 2024. That's crazy. And now you can get it for as cheap as $19, $20. The best time it has been to get... This is the cheapest Meat Hook Massacre has been since 2021. So 4 years. The cheapest it's been since it was originally revealed. Excuse me, we do it live. And printed in 2021. So definitely check out Meat Hook Massacre if you can. Next up, Maha, Its Feathers Night. Now, if you want your friends to hate you and you're okay with it, go ahead and play this card. I think it's a cool card. I think it's fun. but definitely a card that not every table is going to love, and it's not fit for every casual table for commander, especially if this card is your commander and you can just do some gross stuff like constantly killing your opponent's board over and over and over again if you have Maha out. So Maha is a 5 mana elemental bird, beautiful art, flying trample, 6/5 flyer, ward, discard a card, creatures your opponents control of base toughness 1. That is the kicker. Making all of your opponent's creatures base toughness 1, and then just packing a bunch of things like Meat Hook Massacre, where you can pay 3 mana to wipe your entire opponent's board and then drain and gain every creature in the process. Funnily enough, these cards combo extremely well. I didn't plan that, you know, it is what it is. That's Magic the Gathering. But Maha is the cheapest it's been for a while. It's currently around $6, and it was just 15 to 10. It's been slowly creeping down since it's been printed. It wouldn't surprise me if this card will continue to go down. If you want to wait to pick up any of these cards, it's probably Maha. I could see this card going down to like $3. Once again, just my personal guesstimations, not financial advice. I could see this going down to $2 to $3 in the future, but I could be mistaken. Next up, similar card to Crater Hope Behemoth, the big white feature ender Moonshaker Cavalry, due to a bunch of reprints as well as other options and just other things going on. It's the cheapest it's been in quite a while. This was like, I believe, like a $20-$30 card for a fair bit. Let's see, Senator, excuse me. But yeah, a 23rd, only printed it seems like only printed in Wilds of Eldraine. Printed in one set as a mythic rare. Did get a promo. Okay, that promo is fucking gorgeous. God damn it. But printed in one set as a mythic rare. And then just never seen again. It's just, people just kind of moved on from it. But it's a fantastic card, fantastic ender in white. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain flying and +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Very, very similar to Crater of Behemoth. Was a $20 card for a while, $15 card, $13 card, $12. Now it is down to a $7 to $8 card, $7 to $9 card right now, according to MTG Stocks, the website I'm obviously using for this video. Next up, Edgar Marov. Now is the time, dude. This card was so fucking expensive. I know a lot of people wanted to play him as their commander for a super long time. And if I'm not mistaken, he was up to $100 at one point. If I'm not, yeah. At one point, look at this. So he is not at an all-time low. Keep that in mind. He was actually really cheap way back in 2017. What a price jump from $4 to $140. What an insane, wow. Anyways, now he's back down to $20 to $30 after multiple reprintings, or sorry, one massive reprinting in multiple different forms, different versions of the card. So multiple reprintings, kind of, but not really. After being reprinted in Innistrad Remaster, he has dropped considerably from $144, $120 all the way down to $20 in multiple different forms. So I would go ahead and pick these up sooner rather than later. Even if these go down continuously down to like 10, 15, which I could see, I bet you they're going to go back up in time, because, I mean, look at this price jump scares me, right? When I see something like this, I'm like, this is going to, obviously, I don't think it'll get back to this price. That would be a little crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see a price jump similar, right? It wouldn't surprise me if we see Edgar Marov in 2 to 4 years after, if it gets no reprints. Obviously it depends on reprints. It wouldn't surprise me if we see this card reach $40 to $60 again, and right now it's 20. So pick it up if you are interested. Cheapest a big card, a commander card, has been for a lot of people. All right, Mistrise Village, once again a new hot spicy beautiful card that goes in like almost every teamer deck, Is It deck, Simic deck, maybe mono blue deck. God damn, this card is good. If I believe correctly, it can go. I don't think mentioning Mountain or Forest excludes cards from being in different colors. I believe so, based on commander rules, but I could be mistaken. I feel like I always get rules wrong whenever I'm recording, and that's the only time. So, of course, Mistrise Village. Here we go. You pay. It taps for a blue, taps for an island. You can pay a blue, and then the next spell you cast this turn can't be countered. An uncounterable effect on a land. If you don't like dealing with counter spells, if you're trying to play your Crater of Behemoth, play your Natural Order, play some card to finish off the game, and you don't want to be interacted with, Mistrise Village is really good to stop counter wars. This is not a sorcery effect, so you can use Mistrise Village to make your counter spell uncounterable and end counter wars. You could do a lot of things with this. You could stop players, you could shut players down, you could enable yourself. It does both on one card, all on a card that also taps for a blue. This is the kind of land that would be played in pretty much, once again, every blue deck. Every deck that contains blue in Commander arguably wants to play this card, in my opinion. It's that good. It wouldn't surprise me if we see this getting really expensive in the future. I could see this being a $20 to $40 land depending on reprints. Just my personal opinion and speculation. Right now, $5 to $6 card. $5 to $6 card, Mistrise Village. Check it out while you can. And then finally, I think it's fitting to end this video off with a Soul Ring. Mystery Booster 2 Soul Ring. I really like the Mystery Booster 2 stuff. It's the cheapest this version has been, but it's a pretty new print still. I just love the Mystery Booster 2 zoomed in art. Not everybody loves that. I really like it. And currently this Soul Ring is $3 to $5 for a really cool pimped out version of a Soul Ring if you wanted to upgrade any of yours. It has the Future Sight border as well as the zoomed in art. I really love this one, but I get if it's not your cup of tea. That is the final card I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. It means the world to me. If you found any helpful cards, let me know in the comments. And then if I think I missed any big cards that are super cheap right now in Commander, let me know in the comments as well. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching. Hopefully it was helpful. That's the main purpose here. Have a great day. I will see you guys later. Peace, Reno.